program which you'll see, and most of you have already seen it. And today this program is kicking off with Fellows Course, Nursing Symposium, and then we have got a wonderful structural session also. This is Hall B, this is dedicated to the Fellows Course, and it's for the Fellows in training and even the postgraduate students and even the senior registrars. So anybody can benefit actually. So let's start with, first of all, Tilawat-e-Kalam Pak, then we'll have National Anthem, and then I'll invite Professor Muzaffar Ali, who's the moderator for the first session. Tilawat, please.
الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكم الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار.
For the national anthem, please, I request all you to stand up, please. यार ये लाइट्स ऑफ करा दें प्लीज. So now I hand over the proceedings to the moderator for the first session, and the moderator for the first session is Professor Muzaffar Ali. He is Professor of Cardiology at Punjab Institute of Cardiology. So over to Muzaffar. Please call your moderators for the session.
Mentor. So we will start the formal proceeding. I welcome you all on this wonderful event, and hopefully you will avail this opportunity. So first, briefly, the agenda of this session. There will be 5 presentations by the keynote speakers. And first of all, I will request panelists to please come on the dais. Abid Hussain Lagari, Asad Islam, Muhammad Haseeb Raza, इम्तियाज़ अहमद ख़ान, खालिक इकबाल भट्टी, Sana Ahmed, Muhammad Mohsin. So I will request Professor Farhan Tayyab to please come on the dais. And Professor Amber Malik, you please also come on the dais. Professor Nasir Samor. Dr. Jabbar Ali, please. Asad Islam, you are the panelist. You are among panelists, huh? Acha, acha. So first presentation will be given by Dr. Khalid Naseeb. He is Associate Professor at NICVD, and the topic is Optimal Coronary Angiographic Views and for the PCI Tips and Tricks. Thank you, Dr. Khalid Naseeb.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Khalid Naseeb. I am Associate Professor in ICVD Karachi. First, I want to thank the organizer of Pakistan Society of Interventional Cardiology give the great opportunity to give the talk here. My talk is mainly for the junior fellow, for useful, but senior fellow are also welcome. It is also decent review for them. But here, I think our consultants are present, but fellows are not present in the hall. First, I want to discuss the general idea about the angiography views. Generally, as you know, the caudal view are good for the distal left main, proximal LAD and proximal circ. On the other hand, the cranial views are excellent for the mid-distal LAD as well as septal and diagonal and also ostial left main. In the case of overlapping of the branches, we want to separate to each other. So one principle always remember, circ always move with the image intensifier and LAD and the diagonal in the opposite direction. For example, in LA view, circ move will be on the left side and LAD diagonal on the right side. In the caudal view, circ move down and LAD goes up. Another idea we want to discuss here, what we call the foreshortening. In orthogonal view, you see the lesion on the top of the lesion, but in contrast to foreshortening view, you see the lesion in the line of the lesion. We can miss the lesion and also segment. In four segments, shorting segment characterized by the काफी dense area. How to differentiate with the cranial versus caudal view? In cranial view, see the diaphragm. Diaphragm covers the cardiociliary border, over the cardiac border. More than 50% of the screen of the angiography machine. In other hand, the caudal view, the diaphragm only see the bottom of the cardiac hood. How to differentiate with the allo versus cranial view? In this are two techniques. One is the arm separate technique, one arm in the spine or the center of the catheter, other arm in hand in the tip of the catheter. Here, one arm in the center of the catheter of the spine, or other hand in the tip of the catheter. And diaphragm covers the more than 50% of the screen. It's an allocranial view. In RA view, look the tip of the catheter right side and the left hand on the spine is the RO over the diaphragm is the RO cranial view. One another technique is the direction of the rib. The direction of breeze goes in the right side, so this is the orocranial view. Standard views. Actually, 6 are standard views: orocranial, epicranial, allocranial, orocaudal, epicaudal, and allocaudal. How to look the heart in oro versus allo? In oro, heart look straight in AV groove, and allo, heart look straight in the septum. In means in oro view, heart is split into atrium one side and ventricle on the other side. In the allo view, right heart in the one side and the left heart in the other side. In the case of coronary artery fistula, first take the RA view to decide that where the fistula is drained, in the atria or ventricle, and after that take the LA view to where there is draining, the right side heart or left side heart. Now first usually view I am taken on the cath lab is the order quarter view, usually 20/20. This view is good for the distal left main, proximal LAD and hold the circ. This is a very best view for the intervention of the whole circ and OM and also proximal LAD. The mid and distal LAD is the overlap in this view. Can you see? This is the distal left main, whole circ, OM branches and overlapping of the mid and distal LAD and diagonal branches. Another view, we are also know the allocaudal, a very famous view, the spider view. In this view, the best view for the distal LAD, proximal circ, high OM, high diagonal, as well as if the ramus intermediate present, is an excellent view for the intervention of the distal left main, proximal LAD and proximal circ, and also position of the proximal portion of the stem. The limitation of this view is the abuse patient and vertical heart. In vertical heart, caudal view is not an orthogonal view. In vertical heart, the orthogonal view is the cranial view. Here, in allocaudal view, the catheter should be center of the cardiac hood. If this like feature to increase the caudal angle, to catheter come down to the center. Is the excellent view, catheter in the center of the cardiac hood, wide angle, the LAD and circ can clear the picture. Now we are moving on the cranial views. The cranial views already told about that. The cranial views is the best for the mid and distal LAD, septal and diagonal and ostial left main. But in the proximal LAD, proximal circ and distal left main overlap in this view. Is the excellent view of the intervention of the mid and distal LAD. Is that see the clear the ostial left main and mid or distal LAD totally clear, but for shortening or overlapping of the proximal portion of the circ and LAD. Now we are moved for the allocranial view. In allocranial view is the best of the left dominant system. We can see the clear the left PDA. Left PDA always run in the parallel of the LAD or spine. In this view, also the best view for wiring of the diagonal and best intervention for the mid and distal LAD. But this view is not good for the operator and most dye exposure, radiation exposure to the operator. Another, this is the best view for the give the branches of the left system to RCA and also the distal. Also wiring of the distal portion of the RC in the left dominant system. Now we are moved of the orocranial view. Orocranial view is similar to epicranial view, is the best view of the intervention of the mid and LAD and mid and distal LAD, but for shortening of the proximal portion of the LAD. But this view, in this view, the septal and diagonal not separate well in the mid of LAD. This is the best view for the left main. The ostial left main intervention, the best view is the allocranial and epicranial. Also 20/20 view of the ostial left main is the best view. And the distal left main, the allocaudal, epicaudal, excellent view for the view and intervention of the distal left main. Now we are move of the RCA. In RCA, usually we took the first view is the LO view. In the LO view, we can see the whole C-shaped RCA, but in LO view, the distal portion RCA foreshortening. In the contrast to LO canal or APA canal, the distal portion of RCA is a very carrier and separation of the PD and PLV, and very good view for the intervention of the PDO, PLV, and distal portion of the RCA. Look the overlapping of the distal portion of RCA here, and after the canal with the clear, the separate the vessel. Now, RA view. In RA view, the mid portion of RCA is straight down and clear the wiring of the mid portion, but foreshortening of the proximal and distal RCA portion. It's the best view of the wiring of the middle portion, and also can see give the collaterals of the left system from the septal branches, and also best view if you do the PCI through the retrograde method from right side to left side system. Now we are talking of the graph. Venous graph, usually three types of venous graph to RCA, venous graph to diagonal, venous graph to OM. From bottom to up, the venous graph to RCA, Wilson graph to diagonal, venous graph to OM. From right to left, RCA graph from the right border, diagonal graph arises of the interior border of the aorta, and the OM graph arises for the lateral border and posterior border of the heart. And takeoff wise, RCA graph from the downward takeoff, and diagonal OM graph or LED graph takeoff up from the aorta. Right side graph, the best engaged in the LO view, and left side graph batch in the RO view. After engage the graft, the second view according to the native vessel. We usually know that the RCA graph main anastomoses in the distal portion of RCA. So second view always taken the cranial view, epicranial or allocranial. In contrast, we know that the OM graph, the best in the caudal view. After the engaged main of the OM graph, the second view always take the caudal view. Here, after the engagement of the RCA graph, can you see the cranial view and see the anastomosis of the native vessel. This is the topmost graph, so most likely is the OM graph, and caudal view can clearly see the native OM after the insertion. This is the graph of diagonal, and this is the graph of the LED. Now, lemma graft, firstly lemma engaged in the APO RO view, and after the insertion, see the anastomosis size of the lemma. The best view for see the anastomosis of the lemma to LED is the left lateral view, and also can see the epicranial view. In the case is a subpatient unable to move the hand above the head, so we can take the alternative view of RO straight view or LO caudal view. In a left lateral graph, in the straight RCA, the patient is able to move the arm above the head or due to a stroke, and alternative to the LO caudal view. Thank you.